If you want 2026 to be the year where you finally feel strong, lean, energized, and at home in your body again, this is the exact plan I'm following. And you're welcome to copy it. There's no crash diet. There's no detox. This is not some 6-week sprint. And it's definitely not a new year, new you fantasy. This is a real sustainable plan that I'm using to rebuild my metabolism, recomp my body, and feel the best I've ever felt by June of 2026. And today I'm going to walk you through every part of it. So before we go any further, go grab a pen and paper or open a note on your phone so that you can follow this step by step. And if you'd rather not write everything down, or if you're busy right now, I've also created a free printable version of this entire plan for you. You can download it through the link below and just follow along with me. And be sure to stay with me to the end because I'm going to share the one habit that makes this entire plan stick, even when motivation disappears. And just so you know, this plan is designed to work with you when life is messy, when things get stressful and full, not only when things are calm and perfect. Because I'm going to be honest with you, this past year, 2025, well, it's taught me a lot. It's taught me about my body and my stress levels and my habits, but also my mindset and what actually works best for women in midlife that are living real lives. And my plan is to go into 2026 with intention instead of pressure, momentum instead of burnout, and alignment instead of force. And now, this video is not about showing you some dramatic before picture because that's not what this is all about. This video is not about where I've been. It's about who I'm intentionally becoming. And maybe you can feel that too. Like if you're done with starting over, done with trying to do everything right and still not getting the results that you want and deserve, and done with feeling tired and exhausted in your own life. So I've created a plan as a holistic nutritionist that's not only realistic, but it's also nourishing and sustainable and designed specifically for women in midlife. And if you want to walk this walk along with me in 2026, I'd truly love to have you come along. And I'm going to be real with you. 2025 has been a hard year for me, really hard, like genuinely stressful. I mean, there's been work and kids and life and house and all of that stuff. But on top of all the regular life things, well, my husband and I have been supporting his aging mother that's really having a hard time this past year. And there have been a lot of things that we have had to take care of and do that we never had to previously. So on top of an already busy life, we've had more piled on our plate. And I'm willing to bet that a lot of you can relate to that in some way. Maybe not with the exact situation I'm having, but it seems for so many of us that 2025 has been a year of mounting pressure and mounting responsibility and mounting obligations. So if you can relate to that, I'd love for you to let me know down below because it can be really healing to see that we're not alone when sometimes we're going through a challenging time and we feel really isolated. So let me know in the comments, what challenges has 2025 brought into your life that you haven't experienced before? And because of all of this, though, there's been longer stretches than normal for me where I haven't been doing all the things that I normally would do to take care of myself. And it hasn't been because I didn't know better, but because life has been heavy. And that's exactly why this plan had to be different this time. So in today's video, I'm going to teach you exactly how I'm planning to eat for 2026 and how I'm going to support and rebuild my metabolism through daily movement, as well as how I'm structuring my workouts without feeling burnt out or like I don't have extra time to do anything else in life, as well as the mindset framework that keeps me consistent and the simple daily rhythm that I'm committing to with zero perfection required. Because as a recovering perfectionist, I'm not going to try to be perfect anymore. And yes, if you want support doing all of this with me, I'll tell you how you can work with me too. So before we dive in, if you are a woman over 40 and you want realistic, non-extreme, actually sustainable weight loss, then go ahead and hit that like button and consider subscribing, because when you do that, it really helps this channel reach more women just like me and you, people that are feeling stuck and ready for something that finally works. And one quick thing that makes everything that I'm about to share with you so much easier to stay consistent with, and as I always say, consistency is the secret sauce to all of this. Well, if you want to anchor in your mornings with calm and clarity and alignment before the world pulls you in 10 different directions, then download my free Align and Rise morning practice below. It's the nervous system foundation that makes good habits actually stick, because none of all the things that I'm going to teach you about now, none of this works if your nervous system is not working with you. So let's start with my 2026 nutrition plan. As a holistic nutritionist, I know the heart of my physical transformation is all about nutrition, and I am so passionate about nutrition, but I love to do it in a way that keeps it simple. Simplicity creates consistency, and consistency makes it all work. In my nutrition plan, everything starts with protein, and that's an anchor for me. I am aiming for 40 grams of protein at each and every meal, 3 times a day, because after 40, this matters more than most people realize. Getting enough protein, which I will tell you, even my clients that thought they were getting plenty of protein before they started working with me realized that they weren't. This has been almost universal in all of the clients I've ever worked with. But getting enough protein, well, it stabilizes your blood sugar. It helps to curb cravings. It protects your muscle and supports growth of new muscle. And that actually boosts your metabolism instead of having it slow down like so many women after 40 experience. So in real life, that doesn't have to be difficult. It looks like simple things like Greek yogurt with a scoop of whey protein powder, or eggs with some extra egg whites and maybe some high protein cottage cheese mixed in, chicken, turkey, beef, salmon, mackerel, seafood, and maybe some protein smoothies when I need it. So after I get the protein portion of my meal established, then I build the rest of my meal around healthy veggies. So things like zucchini, peppers, leafy greens, broccoli, cauliflower, mushrooms, green beans, nothing fancy, just real food, real ingredients. And there's endless combinations to all of this. For fruit, I keep it low sugar almost all of the time. Blueberries, wild blueberries being my absolute favorite, but any kind of berry is a great win. And it doesn't need to be a ton, just enough to keep you satisfied. And this is great for when you do have a sweet craving. It's great for variety and a little texture and different flavor. And then fats, healthy fats, things like avocados, olives, olive oil, nuts, seeds, flaxseed, hemp seed, enough for hormones, but not so much that it's crowding out my protein. And I also, in my nutrition plan for life. So I give myself 1 or 2 intentional exceptions each month going forward. These are not cheat meals or cheat days. I don't like that term. I don't think it's healthy for us to look at it like that. This is just life, because there's always a birthday or a celebration or a holiday or a dinner out or a get together or something, right? So by having a couple of intentional planned exceptions, well, that's life. That's not guilt. That's not going to cause me to spiral out of control. And I can enjoy things without having, again, to try to be perfect, because that's not realistic or sustainable. And now hydration is part of this foundation too. So I aim for 2.5 to 3 liters of water each and every day. And to make this easier, I start off with at least 500 mils before I have my morning coffee. In fact, I keep a big tall glass of water on my nightstand when I go to bed at night. And so when I wake up in the morning, I drink those 500 mils before I've even put my feet on the floor. And that gets me off to that right start without it being a challenge or an effort. Now, for supplements, there are some key supplements that I use daily. It will be creatine. I use 10 grams of that daily, magnesium, omega-3s, some green tea, and vitamin D and K are absolutely non-negotiables for me. And then when it comes to tracking, so there will be different tools that I'm using each week, including weighing myself on the scale, but that is just one aspect. It's not the whole picture, okay? Your number on the scale tells part of the story. It's not a very accurate picture without some other details though. So in addition to the scale, I'll also be measuring myself each week, doing selfies and gauging clothing fit of one specific piece of clothing. But on top of that, I'll also be assessing my energy, my mood, how I slept. And none of this is to judge. It's simply to gather information and course correct if I need to. And in a minute, I'm going to show you why this nutrition approach actually makes movement and motivation easier, not harder. As for movement, daily walking is a complete non-negotiable for me. I have known for years how incredibly valuable it is for so many aspects of my life. But on top of that, every single day I walk Louie, my dog, and it's not a workout that I can skip. I've had to do it through colds and flus and injuries and all kinds of things because Louie is going for his walk whether I want to or not. But it does so many wonderful things for me. It helps me to lower my cortisol, my stress response. It helps me to steady my blood sugar. It lifts my mood better than almost anything, improves my digestion, and supports fat burning, all from something that feels gentle and sustainable and isn't exhausting. And on top of that, I lean heavily into NEAT. NEAT simply stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is quite the mouthful, hence the term NEAT. But basically, this is non-exercise movement. So not the planned exercises that you have, but just your movement you go about your regular life. So this looks like walking when I'm on the phone, not sitting down, or tidying, walking upstairs, parking at the far end of the parking lot, moving around the house intentionally after I have a meal. Those little small things that add up to more total energy burned than a typical gym session without frying your nervous system. And that's exactly why I completely changed my workout structure for this year. So I'm not forcing 5 workouts a week right out of the gate anymore. It's been a fall for me as far as my consistency with workouts, with all of the responsibilities my husband and I have taken on. Gym workouts, well, they got skipped way more than I ever intended. So for the first 4 weeks of the year, I'm going to be doing just a few short, simple workouts a week. I'm talking about 3 simple 15 to maybe 20, 25 workouts, mostly just doing some strength, just enough to start to wake up my body again. This will be a lot of body weight, compound movements, things like air squats and push-ups, lunges, the plank, nothing that you need special equipment for, a lot of time, or even that much effort. Now, as I get back into things and my muscles start waking up more, weeks 5 through 8, I'll move into more structured workouts with more compound movements. And then as I get into the groove, weeks 9 through 12, I'll be probably back to those 5 workouts a week, mixing in some metabolic conditioning with some fun cardio. And I will share more about that as we get into 2026. But with all of this, the goal is not perfection. It's about consistency and building momentum, because there were weeks in this past year in 2025 where I was running on pure responsibility. It felt like not my energy. So caregiving stress, caregiving burnout, emotional fatigue, decision overload, and I could feel that tightness in my body. And that's part of why I'm so passionate about this work, because the theory only matters if it works inside real life, messy life. And that's the life that currently I'm living. And now this is the part where most plans completely fall apart. And that's the mindset piece. So if you're watching this video and thinking, Jenny, I want to do this, but I want support. I want somebody in my corner because I don't want to fall off track again. I need the accountability. I need somebody to keep me aligned to where I want to go and help keep that vision alive. I do have a limited number of one-to-one spots opening in January. So if you would like my help building your personal version of this plan, the link is below and you can apply there. But this part, this is the most important part. If your identity doesn't match your goals, your habits aren't going to stick. So every day I will be asking myself, who is it that I'm working to become by June? How does this person live her life? How does she eat? How does she move? And how does she handle setbacks? But maybe for me, the most important question I'll be asking is, how does she speak to herself? And instead of chasing perfection, well, I'm practicing course correction, because when we deviate from a plan, that's not failure, that's information. And I learned that from the most incredible book, Psycho-Cybernetics. If you haven't heard of it, it's like the top self-help book of all time, probably. And I can't recommend it highly enough. And so this is what this all actually is going to look like in my real daily life. So my daily rhythm is built to feel aligned and not rushed. I have had enough with feeling rushed and like I'm just constantly hurrying from one task to the next. So when I wake up in the morning, I do my Align and Rise morning method. Again, the link to download that for free you can find below. But then it's water and my high protein breakfast, taking Louis for a walk. He's barking right now. You might hear him in the background. And then I settle into my workday. At lunchtime, again, it's a protein centered lunch, and I incorporate some movement breaks depending on the day throughout my day. At the end of the workday, that's when I do my workout, if I'm having a workout that day. If not, it's some neat activity, getting up and moving after a day in the office, working on the computer, working with clients. I need to move my body some, and it wakes me up. I often feel groggy at the end of the workday, but then as soon as I get my body moving a little bit, I find like it's an energy charge. So just a little side tip for you. And then of course, dinner is protein focused, just like the nutrition plan that I laid out. And that's when I have most of my supplements. And then I have an intentional evening as often as possible amidst all the other things I do. But my whole purpose with my evening is to keep it as low stress and calm as possible. Keep the lights dim. I have an evening routine. I look at winding down instead of doing anything that's overly stimulating at the end of my day, and into bed nice and early. And for me, that means being in bed by 10 o'clock. So this plan is not frantic. It is not rigid, and it's not complex. It's simple. And part of the beauty of this is that in the simplicity, we create the consistency. And as I've said a few times already here, consistency is the secret sauce. And now there's one last layer that makes all of this work, that ties it all together in a neat little bow. Your metabolism isn't the only thing that's resetting this year. Your consciousness is too. When you repeatedly picture yourself as the person who you are becoming intentionally, that becomes the direction that your choices naturally follow. So you can do this so simply by just taking 10 seconds in the morning and asking yourself, who am I becoming? How does she move today? What's one aligned action that she is going to take? And that moment of intention does so much more than willpower ever will. And I want you to hear this clearly. None of the stress in my life is going to magically disappear. The responsibilities, all of the things that I'm taking care of, the caregiving, all of that, it's still here. The workload is still here. But what's changing from 2025 to 2026 is that my body is no longer going to feel reactionary, like it's in a battlefield. I don't need perfect conditions to show up anymore. And you don't either. And that's exactly why what I'm building for 2026 is completely different. And so if you want this entire 2026 plan written out neatly so that you can just follow along without having to rewatch this video, you can download the free printable version below. But I'm also building something brand new for early 2026, a short, gentle, doable midlife reset challenge that you can follow along with me. It's not ready yet, but if you want first access to it when it's released, make sure you're on my email list where I'll announce it first. And you can do that by downloading the free PDF below. So this is my plan for 2026, and I will be updating you along the way, every step of the way, letting you know how it's going and if I need to course correct, how I'm doing that. If you want to copy it, copy it. If you want to tweak it, tweak it. And if you want to walk this journey with me, come with me. If you want support doing all of this, the links are below. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're recalibrating. And you don't have to do it alone any longer. You've got this, and I'm here with you every step along the way. As always, I hope so much that this has helped, and I will see you in the next video.